Hi there, and welcome to the first episode of Toy Reviews with TheDoerle's. I'm going to start this video series by talking about the Darth Vader toys in my collection and about some of the toys in my friends' collections. We're going to have a few other people on here, toy collectors. Before we start this video, I'd like to give a special shout out to Adam Saker and John Paul Ragusa on Facebook. I may have said your names wrong. I posted an earlier version of this video and I had some information terribly wrong. I apologize for that, but I'd like to thank them for correcting me. Alright, and what we're going to be reviewing today is the crown jewel of my Darth Vader collection. My 12B-back Darth Vader, vintage 1977. Enjoy. Alright, welcome back my nerdy Star Wars collectors. I've got for you today my 12-back Darth Vader. This is a 12B-back. Now let's talk about this figure and the line, the 12-back figures. These were the first Star Wars figures that were released. They had 12 figures on the back. You'll see that in the stills that I have and some close-up pictures. But there were 12 original figures that were released in the series. There was the Sand People, or the Tusken Raider, C-3PO, the Death Squad Commander, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, Ben Kenobi, and a Jawa. The 12-back, they call them that because of the 12 figures here. The back of the card also has a couple of the vehicles that came out, and it describes the action figure stand. And to talk about these 12-back figures, we have to talk about how the figures all came out, actually. When Star Wars was released on May 25th of 1977, Kenner had signed on to make action figures, but they didn't have any ready for the release. They didn't even have any ready for Christmas. So there was the infamous empty box packaging. And what it was is you could go to the store and you could buy this empty box that had a cardboard diorama with pictures of the 12 original action figures on there. And you essentially paid for this empty box and 4 action figures. And that was Luke, Leia, Chewbacca, and R2-D2. Those are the first 4 figures that Kenner knew they had ready to go. You could send away, and they said they'd ship them, I believe it was between February 1st and June 1st of 1978. Well, they did this, and you could also send away with a couple of proofs of purchases. Originally 2 proof of purchases and $2, and you could get the plastic display base that the figures would stand on, and there were levers that you could make them move around and stuff. And then later you could get the display base free for 12 proofs of purchase. Now these figures, they're stamped 1977. On the card it says made in 1977, but they actually came out in 1978, and that's when the figures were made. Initially, when they started with the 12-back figures, the Jedi and Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and Ben Kenobi, their lightsabers were what were called the double telescoping lightsabers. And what that was is the lightsaber would come out, and then there was another smaller piece on the end, and that would extend as well. And Kenner realized very early on that making this 2-part lightsaber was way more expensive than making the 1-part lightsaber. So after a few of them were released, they switched to a 1-part lightsaber. And these are really rare and really desirable amongst the Star Wars world. The double telescoping lightsabers are kind of the pinnacle of Star Wars collecting. A double telescoping Ben or Darth Vader is going to go for more than a blue snaggletooth, which is another incredibly rare figure. I saw last year, well I guess, not last year now, it's 2015, but in 2013, a double telescoping Darth Vader graded at I believe 8.5 sold on eBay for $29,999 plus a pittance and shipping. I think it was $50 because it was all insured and everything. You know, so that's a lot of money to pay for a single action figure. I know these are almost 40 years old, but it's still a lot of money. A figure like this and the condition it's going to go in, you know, you're going to see these sell for anywhere between $300, $500, $600 on eBay. I just saw one recently that looked like it had been kicked from one side of the room to the next go for $510. And right now I'm watching a 12B back that's bidding at $225 with 2 days left. There's 20 some bids on it. and I know it's going to go for a lot more. I paid for this figure in particular $321 plus some shipping. I don't remember exactly how much, but it was insured and everything. I actually got it on May 21st of 1977, so 4 days before the 30th anniversary of Star Wars. I thought that was pretty exciting. I felt really good about that. My roommate was very mad at me because I was late on rent that month because I bought this figure. But as the years have gone by and he's become actually a toy collector and seller, he understands why I was late on my rent. Let's talk about this figure, and I'll tell you why it's a 12B back and what that all means. There's when the Star Wars figures came out, the 12 backs, the original series, the original release, initially on the back of the card, you had the 12 figures, you had all this stuff about them, you had the vehicles, you had the picture of the display base, and you had this information down here about how to go about buying the display base. And originally, you could only get the plastic display base for 2 proofs of purchases and $2. Then it had some information about shipping, and it had information about the expiration date of the offer. That was the original card back. It also had this information about the lightsaber. Now the B back, they changed it up a little bit because more figures were being produced, so it was more chance of getting proofs of purchases. So they added an extra little line in here that says that you can get the action base for 12 proofs of purchases for free, in addition to two for $2. So it was just a little bit more information added right here, and that's how I know this is a B back, because there's that extra little line in here. Now the C back, the card back is identical to this except for the information about the lightsaber. When it talks about pushing the lightsaber back in, there's only 3 lines of text, because the A and B backs, they were referencing the double telescoping lightsabers. So there's just a little bit less information in here. Also, you see it's a picture of Darth Vader. His name's up here. This is where the price tag would originally go. This is how the bubble should look. There's an insert of cardboard at the bottom. It's got a plastic piece down here so it can almost stand on its own, completely vertical, without being displayed. This one is punched, as you can see, and by saying punched, I mean the cardboard that was here, where you would hang it on a shelf, has been removed. All right, you can find these unpunched, which is really nice to have. My particular figure is in really good shape. I'm amazed by how good a condition it's in. The card back itself, it's nice and straight. There isn't really any damage to the outside. There's a tiny imperfection right underneath the bubble. Some shelfware or something kind of crunched it just a tiny bit, but it's just somebody looking at it, giving it a cursory glance, they wouldn't even notice. There's a tiny crease on the front of the bubble where it's been punched right up here. It's a little bit weak right there, but on the back of the bubble, back of the card, you don't even notice it. There's a little bit of residue left from where somebody removed the sticker. The original price tag, I kind of wish they had left it there. Yeah, I like that, having that little bit of pedigree to the figure. Also on the card though, the big imperfection is right at the top of the bubble. On the back of the card there is a crease that runs the length of the top of the bubble. I don't like that at all, but you know, for what I paid for this card and as great a condition it's in, I'm willing to have that. But all the corners are nice and strong. The bubble itself is completely secure. There's no dings, there's no dents, there's no creases, nothing wrong with it. And the figure inside looks to be perfect. Except for a little rogue string that seems to be there separated from the vinyl cape. I don't like that. You know, if I send it to get this graded, it'll probably take away from the value of the fig itself. But something that it does have going for it is there's no frosting on the helmet. And that's something that happened. Something with the glue that they used in the figure made the helmet start turning white. That's really not desirable at all. I know this is a real figure. One of the ways I know is the pattern of the glue on the edge of the bubble where it's secured to the card. When Kidder made this, it was kind of a waffling, almost grid pattern on here. And it's really hard to duplicate in the aftermarket. And also, I had a friend take this to Comic-Con a few years ago and take it to the AFA booth, the Action Figure Association. I'm sorry. They looked at it and they said that yeah, it's genuine and it's good and it needs to be graded. In this condition, this figure I'd expect it to go for around $1,500, $2,000 if it was graded. I've seen them go in the last couple years on eBay. C-backs anywhere from $1,200 to A-backs, around $3,000. Graded, that is. But loose, you're going to put out $300, $500, maybe $600 for a figure in this condition. But if you're paying $600, I really feel like you're paying too much. It's worth it when you're looking for something like this. Take your time, do your research, and make sure you're getting a really good figure. Make sure you're getting a really good price, because they're always there in the secondary market. If you want to buy it graded, you are really going to looking at paying a lot of money, a couple $1,000s. So it's worth it to find one like this and then go and get it graded yourself. I really don't have too much information about this card. Beyond that, it's the crown jewel of my collection, my favorite material possession. I really recommend, if you're going to go out and start looking to collect and you want something to really be a focal point, look for something like this. If you're collecting Star Wars, the 12 backs are always amazing. They're a great find. Get them in good condition, and it's something that people are going to talk about. That they might look at the rest of your collection and be like, oh, that's nice, but then they'll see the 12 back and they'll say, well, that's amazing, because this is where it all started. This is where this whole Star Wars collecting craze began. Right here with the 12-back action figures. And until the next time I put a video up about my toys, may the Force be with you.